Whoa! Look at this! Out in the middle of nowhere. What the hell? Huh. Huh. What the hell do we got here? Huh. I've seen stranger things. I've been trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Trump. Because, make no mistake about it, Trump is one of them. And I've heard it come out of his own mouth. Trump was in a meeting with about 8 people. And one guy is throwing Masonic gang signs all over the place. And the other guy is talking Masonic code. And Trump says, actually I'm a Mason, I would know that. So I heard it come out of his own mouth. Plus, I guess there's a rule that when there's a Masonic president, the next one has to be non-Masonic. Obama was not a Mason. I found out about an assassination attempt on Obama when he was down in Florida also, while he was president. Anyway, so after Obama had to be a Masonic president, and that would be Donald Trump. Now, everybody's making a great big deal of Bill Clinton, with Jeffrey Epstein on Orgy Island and all that stuff. Epstein is a convicted child molester. And they're making a big deal of Bill Clinton spending a lot of time with him. But nobody's talking about Epstein is Trump's best bud. Trump and Epstein are way tighter than Clinton and Epstein. So I can't figure out what's going on. What is this? One cabal of child molesters trying to take out another cabal? I just don't get it. I've been trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Trump, because just it reeks of being a trick, a trap. And I figure Trump is, going to do all this stuff. One of their goals is the second American Revolution. Okay. If Trump was assassinated in the middle of locking up all these people like Clinton, the Podestas, all these child molesters, you see all these CEOs quitting all over the place, and there's 2 I'm still waiting to see quit. I don't think I better name them though. But there's 2 CEOs I happen to know something about, and they have not quit. The rest I don't know anything about, but they're all quitting. We've had, what, 400 and counting? 400 and counting since Trump passed that law about seizing assets and everything. Even George Soros gave away all his money, 180 billion, 18 billion or something like that. And there's still a whole lot that people are not talking about. It's nowhere on the internet. Things that have happened that are not on the internet. What, Delta Force has gone out 3 times, and then there was another team that went out. I've never heard of them before. But anyway, there's a bunch of stuff happening that people are still not talking about. And I'm not going to be the first. One thing I wanted to talk about was, it's because I got special knowledge about it, from being a dope addict and a drunk. But Trump declared a national emergency with this heroin epidemic and the fentanyl. Now I got a question. How does fentanyl, a Class A narcotic, DEA watched, it requires a chain of custody with signatures, how does it get to the streets by the fucking barrel full? By the fucking 55-gallon drum full? Please explain that to me. Do you think a bunch of people are selling their little prescriptions and somebody's hoarding it and putting it all together, making one great big pile? I don't think so. So how does it get from the manufacturer to the streets in huge quantities when there's a chain of custody? When it's a Class A, DEA watched narcotic? And you know, fentanyl's been around for a long, long, long time. The big thing when I was young was Dilaudid. And that was really tough to get. And I never even heard of fentanyl. Nobody I know ever heard of it. But now it's coming out. By the barrelfuls? Something ain't right. Just saying. But with this heroin epidemic, I'll give you just an idea of... I used to live on a boat for about a month. Great big boat. Just me. And a bunch of guns. And a couple $1 million worth of dope. I had a guy come over to my house. And he had a rock of coke. Almost the size of my fist. And those of you who know about coke know that coke doesn't rock unless it's pure. So that'll give you an idea. That's the kind of stuff you can't do too much of it, or it'll perforate the membrane and everything back there, and your nose will just be toast until it heals. However long that takes. So you can't do too much of it. Until you get used to it or acclimated to it or whatever. I never got to do that much of it. There's a lot I could tell you about that. And when I was doing dope, somebody mentioned to me, you know what, you ought to start dealing dope, and that way everything you do is free. What? Free dope? Sign me up. Who do I talk to? Where do I go? Free dope. Oh yeah. Hook me up with that shit. They say, yeah, all you got to do is deal dope. And then everything you do is free. I said, but you're going to want to deal something that you don't use so that you don't use up all your shit. So it was like, if you're into coke, deal heroin, deal something else. They told me, always deal weed. Always deal weed. And that way, if your supplier gets busted or the supply dries up for a while, you still got the weed to fall back on, you still got income. And I was like, well, how do I get into, should I start dealing ounces or pounds or, what should I do? And they were saying, nah, realistic. But I asked them all kinds of questions, and I asked them, how do I get started? Because I know when I was doing shit, if I needed a fix, I'm not going to blow my $100 on some guy I don't know and take a chance on getting, bunk stuff. And they say, well, that's easy. It just depends on how far you want to go. What you do is you get your stuff, you buy your ounce or whatever like that, and then you go to how you're going to sell it, quarters, grams, whatever. But don't cut it. Sell it exactly how you get it. I'm like, how am I going to make a profit like that? Well, you ain't looking to make a profit when you first start. You're looking to make a profit after you get going. Right now, you're just trying to get in business. So what you do is you don't cut it. And then you give it away. Like, this is just going totally against all business principles. However, this is the way Radio Shack did it. This is the way Walmart did it, and put everybody else out of business. And then they jacked their prices back up. So that's the principle you're following here, with a caveat. So when you give this dope away, you got to tell them, this is some really good shit here. You don't want to do it all, because it'll kill them. Simple, it'll kill them. Because it's double the potency they're used to getting. But what happens is, they're greedy, they want a really good high, they don't believe you, they all say it's really good dope, and they shoot it anyway, and they overdose. I said, well, how is that going to help you get in business if you're killing your clientele? And they said, what's the reaction to that? Everybody says, oh, he got some good shit. Where did he get it? They all want to find where he got his dope at. And there you are. That's how you get in business. But if you want to knock your competition out, you keep it that quantity, that quality. And that'll take your competition out of business, and you'll get everything. So, when you see 3 or 4 deaths in a little area, that's what's going on. There's a new dealer in the area. But, like in Cleveland, where you see 60 deaths all over the city, that's a new crew. That's a new crew in town trying to take over the business. Now, if gang fags are everywhere, if they're driving buses, if they're on the buses, if they're driving pickups, if they're driving Suburbans, if they're driving beat up little pieces of shit cars, if they're driving planes, boats, if they're everywhere, if they're in the fast food restaurants, if they're in Red Lobster, if they're everything, everywhere, how tough would it be for them to find out who this new crew is. They could do it standing on their head. If gang fags existed. And think about it, let's extend that. What about the child molesters? The child porn industry. I'm not talking about the 400-pound fat little pig looking at videos and stuff in his mom's basement. I'm talking about the motherfuckers snatching the kids, making the movies, making the pictures, making the magazines. They could knock them motherfuckers out. Positive proof gang fags don't exist. Or if they were trying to do right in the world, they'd knock out them child molesters. They'd knock out them fucking, that whole entire child porn industry. They'd knock out them dope dealers. If gang fags were real. My proof that gang fags do not exist. Hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.